All right, so Broncos fans, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the real deal on this season? We're talking Sean Payton, pulling off maybe, just maybe, his best coaching job yet.
Oh, yeah.
We got this CBS Sports article, and it breaks down, like, why a team that everyone thought was going straight to the basement, they were going to be fighting for that top draft pick.
Yeah.
And now they're serious playoff contender. How is this even happening? This deep dive, it's not just wins and losses, right? We got to understand how Payton's doing it. That's the real genius here.
I think this article, it really lays it out well. Like, they got these surprising success stories, players exceeding expectations. It's all pointing to, like, a masterpiece season for Payton. Maybe.
Okay, so let's start with Payton himself, right? I mean, this is not some rookie coach, fresh out of college.
No.
This is Sean Payton. Super Bowl ring, a history of just, like, killer offensive schemes. Yeah. And this guy, I swear, he's got, like, a sixth sense, right? He knows what the defense is going to do before they do it. It's unbelievable.
So he got a reputation, and it's well-deserved.
So true. But think about it, though. Taking this Broncos team, everyone had written them off, right? Potential playoff spot. With a rookie quarterback, no less. That's a whole other level of coaching mastery. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, it's impressive. It really is.
All right, speaking of that rookie QB, Bo Nix, 12th overall pick. A lot of analysts thought, that was a reach. They were wrong. 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his last 3 games. The kid is on fire.
What I think is really interesting, like, the article highlights how Payton's calling plays specifically to use Nix's strengths, right? So they're using a lot of play action. They're taking advantage of his mobility, keeping those defenses guessing.
Oh, yeah, got to keep them on their toes.
It just opens up, like, those passing lanes downfield. It makes his reads simpler,
It's like he's building the whole offense around Nix. It's like a custom-tailored suit, just perfectly fitting his skill set.
I think that's a great analogy, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's working. The article, it even says Nix is looking way more confident throwing into the middle of the field. That's something he struggled with early on. Now he's closing the gap in the Offensive Rookie of the Year race.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's insane.
It's a tight race this year.
Now, the article really praises Payton's play calling. But how much of Nix's development do you think is just him? Like his own work ethic and maybe even, the offensive line giving him more time in the pocket?
That's a really good point, because while the article focuses on Payton, it's probably a bunch of things, right?
Yes.
Like Nix, he seems like he wants to learn. He wants to adapt. That's definitely playing a role. And yeah, that offensive line is playing better too. You can't discount that.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's a team effort. Always is.
Always.
But you know what? Even with all the offensive improvement, what's really catching my eye is that Broncos D. They are straight up dominating.
Oh, they are. They're 3rd in points allowed, 6th in rushing defense. And I mean, if you go deep on those analytics, like their DVOA, it's even more impressive than those basic stats.
So for the stat nerds out there, that means the Broncos defense is even better than it looks on the surface. Come on, that's crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? They may not have this roster just packed with, like, superstars besides Patrick Surtain II. It's like their effort, their toughness, and their speed. That's their big thing,
They're a unit, a true unit.
They really are.
And those sacks. Can't forget about those sacks. Leading the NFL with 44. The article gives credit to Vance Joseph, the coordinator, and his, aggressive blitz packages. But does a high sack count always equal a dominant defense? Could it also mean the secondary isn't holding up?
That's a really good question. Because while sacks, they're disruptive, you got to look at the big picture, right? In Denver's case, it's not just blitzing every play. Joseph, he's doing a lot of, disguise coverages. He'll show one look before the snap, and then boom, after the hike, it's something totally different.
So he keeps those quarterbacks guessing.
Keeping them guessing. Confusion leads to those sacks, makes it harder to complete passes. But here's the thing, and it's really interesting. It's their run defense. They're so stingy against the run. It's a huge part of this.
Okay, walk me through it.
Okay, so they stop the run so well, it forces the other team to pass. Yeah. And when they have to pass, it's predictable, And when the offense is predictable, that's when you can blitz and get to the quarterback.
So it's like a cycle of pressure. Right. Shut down the run, make a pass, and then bam. Send the house.
Exactly. And those safeties, they're involved too, right? They're not just way back deep. They're creeping up closer to the line so they can make quicker tackles on run plays and just disrupt stuff before it even gets going.
They're like hybrid players almost. Part safety, part linebacker.
Yeah.
And that speed, that versatility. It's why this defense is so tough to break.
Yeah.
How do you even game plan against that?
And, the article, it kind of glosses over this part. But it's crucial. It really is. This isn't just about stars, right? It's about everyone doing their job and playing to their strengths. And that's what makes it so fun to analyze. It's not just the box scores, it's seeing how all these little things come together.
Yeah, totally, totally. And all this talk about defense and coach, and it's easy to forget, right? The NFL is all about the playoffs. So where do the Broncos stand in all of this?
Well, right now, as we're talking, they're 7-5. That puts them at the 7th seed in the AFC.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
For a team, remember, everyone thought they were tanking. And their schedule coming up, it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it does.
2 home games against the Browns and the Colts.
Yeah, those are winnable for sure.
If they can pull those off, they're looking at 9-5, heading into the final stretch. That's playoff territory.
It is.
But got to be real here. Their schedule, it hasn't been the toughest, right? Only one win against a team with a winning record.
True. But the article, it did mention that near win against the Chiefs. In Kansas City, no less.
Oh, man, that was rough.
They lost by a hair, like a blocked field goal at the very end.
I was screaming at the TV, I'm not going to lie. So frustrating. But even in that loss, they showed they could hang with the best, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, the record looks good, but we got to think about who they played, right? When we're talking playoffs, can they keep this up against the top teams? That's the question.
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially with a rookie quarterback. The playoffs, it's a different beast.
It is.
All that pressure, the intensity, everything gets cranked up.
It's trial by fire, man. For a young guy like Nick still learning the ropes, it could make or break him.
But here's the thing I keep coming back to. I think their defense, that stifling, dominant D, it might be the key to a deep playoff run.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Think about it. If they keep shutting down offenses like they have been, it takes all the pressure off Nick's, off the whole offense, really. They don't need to score a ton of points to win.
Yeah, that's a really good point. A tough defense, it can absolutely carry a team, especially when you got a quarterback who's still developing.
Exactly.
Let's him just manage the game, Avoid those big mistakes. Let the defense win it for you.
It's almost like old school football, right?
Yeah.
Defense wins championships.
They always say that.
They do. And it's true, offense is flashy, but a strong defense, that's the foundation for any championship team.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget about Payton.
Right.
His experience. He's been there, done that, won the whole thing. He knows how to adjust, exploit those weaknesses, get the most out of his players when it matters.
Yeah. Peyton's leadership in the playoffs, that's going to be huge. He's been through it all, Yep. He'll be a steady hand for this team.
So we're looking at a team that started the season, everyone thought they were done.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're a contender.
I think they are. Solid defense, rookie quarterback getting better every week, and a coach at the top of his game.
It's like a perfect storm brewing in Denver.
Yeah.
Right? And that brings us to you, our listeners. What do you think? About the Broncos, I mean.
Yeah.
What are their chances in the playoffs? Are they, legit contenders? Or will they hit a wall when they play those, the really good teams? I mean, are we getting a little ahead of ourselves here?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? It's what keeps us all watching,
You know what I keep thinking about? Everyone's talking about the offense getting better and Knicks. But what about that defense? I think that could be the key, right? That stifling D.
I mean, you look back historically, right? A lot of teams, deep playoff runs, they had that tough, disciplined defense.
Right. If they keep shutting down teams like they have been, Knicks in the offense, they don't have to be perfect. They don't got to score a ton of points.
Yeah, they can control the pace, keep the other team from scoring, get those turnovers that change the whole game.
And then you add Payton, right? He's got the experience.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to adjust, mid-game, find those weaknesses.
Yeah, his ability to just, read the game and then change things up, that's huge. Especially in those tight playoff games. It can make all the difference.
Okay, so bottom line, for our deep dive on the Broncos, the big question. How far can a defense carry a team? I mean, can they make a run even if the offense isn't, elite?
That's what we got to watch and see, right? It's going to be fascinating. But one thing is certain, I think. Nobody expected this from the Broncos. They are definitely a team to watch.
That's for sure. Well, that wraps up our deep dive on the Denver Broncos. Keep thinking about these questions, right? Keep exploring. Keep digging deep. We'll be back soon with another deep dive. Until then, enjoy the games.